In today's video, we're going to be discussing how a coach in the US can go about getting a UEFA license if you are not a European citizen. So stick around and we're just going to roll that intro and jump right into the video. In today's video, like I mentioned in the intro, we're looking at how a US citizen who's getting his USSF license can hop over across the pond to get a UEFA license. So this video is going to be using a lot of screen recordings, and that is how I'm going to show you a few of the federations that I have found just doing my own research, because in the future this is something that I do want to do personally. So I feel like this is a good way for me to get this out there and again just do some research so I'm more prepared. Now, just a disclaimer, this is not the only way you can get a UEFA license. This is just more applicable to me because this is my own research and this is what I've done because I want to do this in the future. So without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into this and we're gonna look at how we can get a UEFA license. First thing that we wanna consider is what USSF license we actually hold. The key here is if we have the D license, that is considered level 1 in Europe, which is again the grassroots, which is dealing with mostly youth, rec, maybe some club football, but mostly just kids that are getting introduced into the game. Now, the higher you go up in the US, you have the C, the B, and then the A youth, A pro, and then you have your A license and pro license, and you know, whatever, the more complicated stuff. That doesn't necessarily have a direct translation over into Europe. So that's something that you have to kind of do it yourself when it comes to seeing if you meet the requirements, and then you have to get in touch with the federation that you want to go to in order to see if the qualifications that you have meet the minimum requirements in order to get onto the UEFA B. Another big thing to consider is which federation you're going to go to. If you speak multiple languages, it may give you a better opportunity to go to another country in order to get a license from another language that you're comfortable learning. For me, myself, I do speak French and I do speak English. So I could look at a French federation and see if they offer any UEFA license to international candidates. So for me myself, I'm just going to stick with the English language. What you need to think about is whether or not the federation that you're looking at in Europe offers international candidate spots. That's very important because they don't always do that, and they'll say explicitly on their website whether or not international candidates can submit applications. So the two that I found and the two that we're looking at in this video are the Irish Football Association and the Scottish Football Association. The first one that we're going to look at is the Irish Football Association, and this is their main webpage. You can see they have the courses and diplomas that they do offer. And we're going to scroll down here. We're going to see that they have an Irish FAC diploma. Obviously, my understanding, and again, I haven't reached out to anyone at the Irish FA to see if a US C license is equivalent to an Irish FAC license. Again, that's something that you're going to have to do if you are making that jump across the pond. Now, they do have a C license for an international. We can look at this right here. We can see these are the course requirements, kind of basic. Another thing that you're gonna have to consider is that if you do have to get a C license in order to hop onto a UEFA B, then you're gonna have to consider whether or not you can afford with your work or your money or whatever it is to stay in the European country of your choosing that makes you get a C license from their own federation before you can get a UEFA license. That's the case with the Irish FA right here, is that in order to get a UEFA B from a international candidate, you have to hold, and I'll highlight it right here, a valid Irish FAC diploma. So in order to get a UEFA B from Ireland, you have to have an Irish FAC diploma. There are some waivers. I know with the US Federation, if you've played pro for a certain number of years in a FIFA recognized league, you can have the first couple license waived and you just hop on to, you know, a license may start with a C or maybe even a B. The view that we're looking at is for someone that has not played the game at the highest level. So we're looking at someone like myself who I stopped playing in college and I want to get a UEFA B. So in order for me to get a UEFA B from Ireland, I would have to get an Irish FAC diploma. If you can see right here, it says priority is given to coaches that have completed the C diploma through the Irish Football Association. So I could technically get on here if I have a USC license, but again, priority is going to be given to those coaches from Ireland who have their C license through the Irish FA. Now, that is not the only case. Again, let me say that. That's why we have two examples in this video, because the first one is the Irish Football Association, but it has a little bit more steps in order to get the UEFA B. With not a problem, it means it's possible. The next one we're looking at is the Scottish Football Association, to give you two ideas and two different routes that you could take if you wanted to get a UEFA license. The thing I wanted to point out is their use of the levels. So you have level 1.1, which is an introduction to coaching, 1.2, 1.3, and then it skips to level 2, level 3, 4, 4, and 5. So if we look at the levels compared to the US, level 2 would be a USC license. Level 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 would all be classified as the 11v11 9v9 pro license or the D license combined. And then we can also see that level 3 is a USB license, level 4 is the USA Youth and USA Adult, and then level 5 is the US Pro license. So that kind of gets you an idea of where the Scottish FA stands when it comes to using the levels. Again, this is not across the board. Everything is different, but for the sake of this video, we are only focusing on getting right here. We only want a UEFA B license. If we look at this US graph of their own license, you can actually see that the D license carries over into the first part of the C license, and the reason why, according to the instructors, some of the material kind of carries over, but then again, the C license in its entirety is something completely different than the D license. The D license is to get coaches on the same train of thought. That's how you can kind of apply, because the fact that it's 1.2, 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 all in the same mix sheds some similarities with the US. And so we want to focus on our Scottish UEFA B license. So right here, we're going to look at the admissions criteria and prerequisites. This is, again, if you are from Scotland and you already have your Scottish license and you're moving up the ladder. What we want to scroll down to is this section right here. It says qualifications achieved with an alternate football association. So in addition to the above candidates who qualify, if you've been through another federation, which is us because we're going through the US Federation, we need to show evidence of a Scottish FA license equivalent. Again, so taking the first bullet point, this is where it's really important to reach out to individuals at the Scottish FA to see if a USC license is equivalent to the Scottish FAC license. Again, I'm pretty sure they're going to be knowledgeable. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to give you a good answer, okay? The next thing we want to see is a coaching and playing football CV, 2 written references, a letter of support, letter outlining why you wish to undertake a UEFA B, and the authorized UEFA cross-border form. I believe that's only kind of like a work permit kind of thing, just to show that you can get there legally. I'm not entirely sure what that is exactly. If you do know, just leave a comment below. The coaching and playing CV, I think this is where it's really important. If you have the D license from the US, you have to hold out for 12 months. That's an entire year of coaching. That's an entire year of learning, experiencing, and implementing everything that you learn on the D license, okay? After that 1 year, you can get your C license. That's a whole nother year before you can apply for the B license. Again, a whole nother year of coaching, a whole lot of experience. So within those 2 years, assuming that we apply for the UEFA license at the end of our C license, that is a lot of experience. That's a lot to add to our coaching CV. We should never hold back what we've accomplished, what clubs we've worked at, what we've done in the world of football, because that is only going to give us better opportunities. The written references always go with, if you have an individual, a mentor that's helped you out the most, definitely always use that. And another thing, don't ever burn bridges, because you never know when you're going to need references like this. The last one is the letter of support. You can think of this as like a cover letter really just trying to sell yourself of why you want to be a UEFA B candidate, why you deserve that spot, why they should give you that spot, and really just show your love for the game. What we're seeing here is the fact that we do not need a Scottish FAC license. If we have it, even better, okay? The one thing, the downside to Scotland as opposed to Ireland is that they don't necessarily offer an international specific C license. So that's something that we have to look at, and you have to look at if you're looking at other federations. Again, disclaimer, personal research. I've done this because I'm interested in doing this in the future. So for me, because I've gotten it through here, which is an alternative football association, now I have to do extra research and reaching out to see if my qualifications actually do meet their minimum requirements. Okay, that's it for the video today, and that is exactly how we should go about getting a UEFA license if we are not a European citizen. It's very easy to find all this research. All you have to do is just look at a few countries, and the first thing you should do is type in the name and football association. It's gonna pop up. I guarantee that they're gonna have an English page and you can find out all this information. You can type in French Football Association license, UEFA B license, Ireland Football Association license, Germany Football Association license. And you're gonna find information about how you can get your own UEFA B if you are comfortable going to one of these other countries that is not a non-native English speaker. And disclaimer again, I haven't done the research, but there are a lot of European countries, even though English is not their native language, hold licenses in English. Because English is a very worldwide language, a lot of coaches speak it. There are a lot of countries that hold licenses and these conventions and everything in English, so a majority of coaches around the world can attend. So that's something that we need to keep in mind. But for me personally, I would be more comfortable going to Scotland or going to Ireland because I know that English is their dominant language. So I'm not gonna have any kind of hiccups. My only thing is that I would prefer to go to Scotland because I do not have to get a Scottish FA if my USC license is equivalent. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do not forget to, as all other YouTubers say on this platform, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next video that's coming out. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.